Welcome back everyone to Pep's Pinnacle MMA Reviews. I give my personal insights, predictions, and opinions on up and coming UFC events and MMA in general. So this video is going to be a review of the last UFC Fight Night card, which took place on the 23rd of February, Sunday, at 4 in the morning. That was when the main event started. So I gave the prediction for the main event, Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. And I predicted that Henry Cejudo would win by unanimous decision, and oh boy, was I wrong. Well, let's just analyze the fight. So round one, Henry Cejudo was displaying a lot of fast twitch feints. He was fast twitch feinting a lot, and he was really explosive with these feints. When he was throwing, he was going very fast. He was throwing so much feints that were very fast twitch. Song, on the other hand, was very safe, coordinated. He was throwing leg kicks like I said he would, and when he saw an opening, he just went in advance with his brawling. He landed a nice combo on Henry, and Henry just, I remember in the later half of round one, Henry Cejudo threw a massive high flying knee and just missed Song. So if he caught Song there, it would have been lights out. But round one ended, and I felt that Henry Cejudo won round one just by a tiny bit, because you could argue that Song won round one as well, because even though he wasn't throwing as much as Henry Cejudo, he was more accurate. But Henry Cejudo didn't get any takedowns. If he did, I think he would have really controlled Song very well on the ground. But round one went to Song, in my opinion. Then coming into round two, Song really displayed more aggression. He was throwing more, landing way more combos. Combos were like very exquisitely done. Henry Cejudo was stopped with his muscle twitches, with his feints. He was stopped fainting, and now he was more calm, more collected, and he was throwing leg kicks, trying to get a couple single leg takedowns, but it never really worked. Song just evaded and got out of that single leg takedown. But overall, Henry was landing more combinations, a bit more accurate, but Song was just doing more. And not only was he doing more, he was landing more, and I believe that he was dealing a bit more damage with these combinations, because it was quite good. I remember one right hand really rocked Henry, and he went back a little. But then in round two, same can be said for the Song, because Henry Cejudo landed a nice leg kick on Song, and Song's leg went asleep a bit. So he moved, and his leg just dragged along. Then Henry saw that, and he advanced, and he threw a couple more leg kicks on that same shin of Song's, and it held. And then he was like, okay. So that was a bit weird. Song's foot went to sleep there, but overall, I'll have it as Song winning round two quite easily. And when we advance into round three, we see that Henry Cejudo started off strong, same as Song, and I do believe that Song threw two low blows against Henry. I think one in round two in the previous round, and then another in round three. And it's never good when that thing happens, because then it throws off the momentum of the fight, the tempo, and it could really change the balance of the fight. Because say now one fighter A was winning against fighter B, and the momentum was really in his favor, and then incident happens where they have to have a 5-minute timeout, and then the momentum changes, and suddenly fighter B has a surge of power against fighter A, and then the momentum shifts. And that's why momentum is really important in continuing fights. So, as in round three, Song landed another low blow on Henry, and Henry sort of took about a minute to readjust, and then he was good. And then the fatal eye poke happened in round three. I think it was about a minute in. You see, first of all, Song threw a nasty eye poke against Henry, and it was a double eye poke. So I think his middle finger and his forefinger landed in both of Henry's eyes, and it was quite hard. And then Henry just ordered for like a timeout. He used all of his 5 minutes, which I never seen anyone do. And then he was calling the doctor to come in, saying that he couldn't see, and it was just blurry. So then the ref said, okay, we'll start the fight again. So not start the fight again, but continue the round, because Henry, if he didn't give the signal to the ref after the 5 minutes bonus time had ended, then Song would have been declared the victor by doctor stoppage or technical TKO. So Henry then just had to carry on that third round, and he was just evading in that third round. And Song could so easily advance, and anything Song threw, Henry was just evading, trying to wait out the clock so that he could get that break for the doctor to come and checking on his eye. So he did last to the end of round three, and you could say that Song easily won that later half of round three, and then ultimately Song won the round three. And then as we went into that break, the doctor really did analyze Henry's eyes, and Henry was saying, repeating the statement that he couldn't see, and Song is just a blur. And then I do believe that the ref said that they have to start round four, but it ends immediately, and then they have to go to the scorecards, because he did that so that once you reach round four, you can go to the scorecards for a technical judge decision based on the point allocation who would win, and you wouldn't just rule it a doctor stoppage. And that's why it was very crucial that you wait until round four starts. So the judge immediately said, okay, round four begin, and then boom, it ends. And then they went to the judge scorecards because Henry couldn't continue. It was too severe. And even when the doctor was busy cleaning his eye, you could see some blood on the towel from the eye. So Henry was even bleeding in that eye. So it was a very nasty eye poke. And when it went to the scorecards, of course Henry would lose because Song won round two and then he won round three so indefinitely that it was really no contention for Henry to win any rounds besides round one. So Song won on points, and it wasn't a very uplifting victory for Song. And even for Henry, you could argue for Henry's favor that, maybe he's not retiring because of this eye poke. It really didn't let him demonstrate the skills that he could have shown. But I've seen many people online state their opinions that Henry Cejudo threw the fight because, you know, because of that eye poke. It was bad. It was really bad, that eye poke. But, you know, people argue that because Henry saw how powerful Song was and how active he was and how aggressive and how the combinations he was landing was leading quite a bit of damage. People are saying online that Henry threw the fight on purpose. He used the eye poke as an excuse to just whittle out the fight and just back out. I don't believe that's the case at all because that eye poke was really intense. It even caused his left eye, I believe, to bleed a little. So I do believe that Henry's eyes were quite damaged. I believe that might have been a bit blurry, but there is a voice in the back of my mind saying that Henry could see, and he could see Song, and that maybe because he wasn't at his full strength, he didn't want to, like, I don't know, risk it. But at the end of the day, fair respect to Song. It wasn't his intention to cause the eye poke. It never is. But things like this happen in the ring. It's not in the ring, in the octagon, out the octagon. And Song's career is not diminished in any way, shape or form. He still has many career opportunities. This doesn't put a negative mark on his career that for the fact that he threw this illegal move. It just things that happen in the occurrence of the match. And as a path forward for Henry Cejudo, I think it's a very appropriate time for him to retire. If he does fight again, it has to be. I think they would still make it a fight night, maybe a main event, but I don't see him really against anyone because say now he fights someone in the future in like 6 or 7 months' time and he loses, there's going to be that clause for him to say he lost because of his ongoing issue with his eyes due to the past of fight that he had with Song. It had a lingering effect on him and that caused him to lose his future fights. So there'll always be that out excuse for him. But at the end of the day, I think that Song really shouldn't be diminished in any way, and that he won the fight, not fair and square, but still on points. He did enough to win. And yeah, my prediction was wrong, but in any case, I think Henry could have won if he didn't suffer that eye poke and those other two low blows. But things like this happen, Let's just take a look back at Imavov against Israel Adesanya. We all knew that Israel Adesanya would win by a landslide. It would be total domination. But because because Israel Adesanya changed his stance from orthodox to southpaw at the wrong time, and he didn't expect Imavov to advance with a very explosive right hand that then really knocked Israel Adesanya senseless, and then he advanced with immediate uppercut and then went in for ground and pound. So no one expected Israel Adesanya to make that mistake, and for Imavov to really capitalize on that. So it's the same thing that happened here, freak accidents occur and things like this happen. But yeah, that was my review on the UFC Fight Night Cejudo versus Song. The next fight is due to happen on the 2nd of March. It's going to be another fight night. It's going to be Manuel Cape against Asu Albabayev. And yeah, I'll give my prediction on that in a later video. Okay, thank you for watching.